Friends, Jessica here. So I've got a special tutorial this week, and this one is especially for my newsletter friends and people who subscribe to my newsletter. And so I've got a little special toolkit for you guys, and this is going to be added into my newsletter vault. So if you're not yet signed up for my newsletter, make sure you sign up. And and I'll be sending this out later today. But I thought I would revisit this look here from a recent, it was like Rodarte fashion show. And I loved these orchids next to these colors on her dress. It's like all of these neutrals and then these gorgeous orchid colors. So I thought I would make a pre-blended color palette for that. And then I also had the idea to make like a really simple abstract flower and show you how you can do that using just like 2 Photoshop brushes. And you can download these brushes. The first one is Flower Streaky, and then the other one is Flower Bleed. And so I'm going to make something similar to this, and I'm just going to turn that off here. So make sure if you want to follow along with this tutorial, load up the brushes and then load up the pattern file, which is the pre-blended color palettes that I make. And if you don't know how to do that, you can just check out the link below, and it'll show you how to load those up. But I'm going to grab first of all, I'm going to go over here to my pattern stamp tool, and I'll grab my streaky flower. And I've got 6 little color blends that I've made by sampling colors from here. So I think they look really nice. And I'm just going to grab Orchid 3, and I won't worry about it being perfect, but sometimes you just, I like how that one turned out. It's very abstract, very simple, but anyway, I could probably play with it more, but I'll just leave it. So I'm just going to take my brush, and the streaky one. Make sure I'm going to use this color palette 3 here. Select that up on top. And then I'm just going to make some brush strokes like this, kind of really light. And what's cool is if you press, as you can see, you can press differently on this. If you press light on this using this brush stroke, you're going to see like really thin streaks like this. And then if you press harder, you're going to see it thicker. So it's got a cool pattern inside. So it can make something like this, and it's quite cool. And let's just play around with like that. That looks very cool. And then underneath it, I think I'll just leave that how it is right now. I think it looks cool. I can always add a little something later. So I'm going to add a layer below that. And then I'm going to take my Flower Bleed brush, and I'm going to change my color palette to Orchid 6. And this is like a nice dark one. I think that I use something like that. Yeah. And so I'm just going to go like this and make some petals underneath here. But I love this brush. I think I'll grab a different color palette. In that it like has this really cool bleed effect, and it's really like, I don't know, it's awesome. So I love that effect, having like a light color below it, and it really makes those purples pop. And then I'm going to make a new layer above this, and I'm going to add one of my layer styles. I had 24 karat gold, one of my styles from my 24 karat gold collection, which is, I'm going to grab 2A. So I just had to see which one I wanted to put. And I'm going to make this available to you in my, I'll have a PSD file you can download so you can copy and paste that layer style. But I've got my 24 karat gold layer styles here. And I think I used, let's see here, 2B. There we go. So I'm just, oops, let's not do that. Let's undo. But I'm going to add that onto the top layer and add that layer style on there. And then I'm going to take my streaky brush, and it doesn't matter what color palette I'm using because it's going to have the layer style on top. So I want to make those little like gold streaks on top, which I think will be really cool. Yeah, just something like that. Make some like really cool like gold streaks. Very cool. And if you want, like, just grab any kind of little like drawing brush like you have. Like I'm just going to grab a little brush, and I'm going to just make some kind of like dots here. Like it's kind of like some flower dots in the middle. I think that adds a little something. So that looks actually pretty cool. So, you can play with that, layer it. Like if I wanted in between those 2 layers, like the back layer, I'm going to add a new layer. And I could just have a little fun, like maybe I'll grab my streaky brush and grab that lighter color palette number 5 and, you know, throw in a couple light strokes just to add a little pop. It's kind of fun. But that's how easy it is. So that's how easy it is to make a really cool abstract flower. And, you know, just have fun, experiment, layer a couple different strokes, but it's like literally 2 brushes. It looks really cool. And 2 brushes in 1 layer style. And with the color palettes, you know, you just get these blends of colors coming out that I think are really nice. And I really love, you know, using like a dark base and kind of, you know, and then my other color palettes have like really cool pops of, I don't know, it just comes out really nice against it. And I love like this has kind of like 2 tones of orchid. So you've got that like more red one and then the more like bluish color, but I think that looks really cool. So have fun with this. If you're a newsletter subscriber, you will get an email. And if not, sign up for my newsletter and then look for this in the newsletter vault. And you'll have the color palette, the 24 karat gold layer style, and then you'll also have those 2 brushes that I used. So have fun. And if you have any questions, just let me know down below in the comments.